Hello, Joe Edwards here from Monmouth Green ahead of the semi-final stages of both the Ladbrokes Gold Cup and the Summer Stays Classic here at Monmouth on Saturday night. We had a fantastic first round action this past weekend, some thrilling winners, some fantastic runs, some very quick times as well, as to be expected in Category 1 action. And we're looking forward to this weekend, 3 stacked semi-finals in both competitions. We also get both the Category 3 competitions underway in the Peter Billingham Memorial Trophy and the Vixen Contracts Limited Trophy. Those competitions are 480 puppy and 480 standard competitions respectively. But let's focus on the Gold Cup and the Summer Stayers. First of all, the Summer Stayers. That will be first up on the card on Saturday night, and I'll take you through the heats as they go now. So race 3 will be the first heat of the Summer Stayers. In trap 1 is Gary the Arb. Trap 2, New Destiny. Trap 3, Bluebird. Trap 4, Inca Louie. Trap 5, 4 Odinson. And Trap 6, Deadly Disco. This is a stacked heat. The way the drawers fell, so kind of full of heat winners from last week. Gary the Arb, an impressive runner for Belinda Green, has done well at Monmouth here previously on many an occasion. That was over 4 bends, has recently stepped up to 6 and looks just as strong. Fantastic heat win for Gary the Arb last week and in the 1 box. Trap 2 is New Destiny, who set the quickest time of the Summer Stayers heat wins last week. Believe it was 37.65, which is a flying time. New Destiny for Mark Wallace. Be interesting to see whether she can follow that up. I mean, she's certainly got the pedigree, certainly got the experience behind her. Bluebird was a dead heat kind of winner for Kim Billingham. One of a few home hopes that are still left in the competition and could be one to sneak a place in the final. Inca Louie, also trained by Nathan Hunt here at Monmouth Green, as a heat winner last week, looking very strong and will look to go again. 4 Odinson in trap 5. A lovely story, has kind of risen up the grades and is holding his own in Category 1 action for Chris Faraday and Aona Dave Titterton, and Deadly Disco for Richard Rees at Hove. I mean, again, a top quality dog who's got history at this track and elsewhere, and will, be one that you wouldn't be surprised at all to see in the final. The second heat, the quality continues in Romeo Empire for Patrick Janssens in trap 1, Aero Advocate for Richie Taberner in trap 2, Antigua Kestrel for Kevin Hutton in 3, New in DJ for Mark Wallace in 4, Clonner Ice for Brian Fairbairn in 5, and Timmy's Hunter for the Monmouth-based Patrick Curtin in trap 6. Again, another strong heat. Timmy's Hunter has done well to get to this stage for Paddy Curtin, the Monmouth trainer, as is Aero Advocate. It was a British debut actually for Aero Advocate last week to finish 3rd in his heat. Showed some good mettle to kind of make up the ground and qualify for the semi-final stage. Be interesting to see whether he can follow that up or whether maybe kind of get bested in this one by more experienced greyhounds on these shores at least. But Romeo Empire will be fancied by a fair few people with Patrick Janssens in the 1 box. So be interested to see how he goes. The third heat is Swift Jarvis for Belinda Green in 1, Amazing Zeus for Richard Rees from Hove in 2, and now we've got a trio of Mark Wallace runners in 3, 4 and 5 in Vagar, New in Cloud and Bombay Nutty, and then the trap 6 is Sing Along Molly for Dean Blackbird. I think you wouldn't be surprised if 2 of the 3 Wallace dogs in this one maybe got through. I mean, Bombay Nutty has excelled here previously over 6 bends, as has New in Cloud. Vagar, a bit newer to the track here at Monmouth, but certainly still very capable. But of course, a tough kind of opposition in Swift Jarvis, Amazing Zeus and Sing Along Molly. Again, all in the semi-finals on merit after fantastic displays last week. We move on to the Gold Cup, the 480 competition. And the first heat of that will be race 6 on Saturday's card. Avaruba's Latam for Richard Rees in 1 in the first heat. Noatra for John Flaherty in 2. Headford Dane in 3 for Maxine Locke. Droopy's Aladdin for Michael Burton in 4. Union Rebel for Kevin Hutton in 5. And Common Cancer for Brian Thompson in 6. Droopy's Aladdin was fantastic last week, it must be said. Wasn't the quickest heat winner, but showed great track crafter to kind of get through a little bit of crowding and win the race for Michael Burton. Well fancied among the bookmakers was Droopy's Aladdin going into this competition. The one thing kind of going against him for this race is the trap draw. Would ideally be closer to the rail in either, well, one in a perfect world, but at least trap 2. So we've got a tough contention from 4. Got to get across and really kind of hit the leads and get out in front. Common Canter, Brian Thompson, another one of the home hopes. But Headford Dane, one to watch, having won the Puppy Derby back in March. Recently returned to action, and you'd like to think will only get better with each run that he gets. In the second heat, Air Apotheca in 1, Carrick Fergie in 2 for Gary Hamilton, Air Apotheca for Richie Taberner, I should say. Arderis Sam for Frank Bryce in 3, Jack Tavern Chief for Glenn Foote in 4, Brindle Bully for Dave Mullins in 5, and The Mighty Man for John Lamb in 6. Air Apotheca, another one of the home hopes. I mean, you'd like to think from all of these kind of home contentions, there might be 1 or 2 that's sneak into the finals in either the Gold Cup or the Summer Stayers. Patika has been as consistent performer as any here at Monmouth Green over the past year or so. Always a contender in open races. Really likes it here for Richie Taberner. We'd be interested to see how he goes. Jack Tavern Chief was a good winner for Glenn Foote last week. The Mighty Man of John Lambs from Perry Bar has had a succession of strong runs here and is a true wide dog, so runs from 6. Be interested to see how that race goes. And finally, Heat 3 of the Summer Stayers. Ginger's Prince for Patrick Brown in trap 1. Erap Hepinilla for Richie Taberner in 2. Born Racer for Carol Weatherall in 3. Armoured 80 for Mark Wallace in 4. And Craftsfield Enzo for Richard Rees in 5. Trap 6 is now vacant after Deliveroo was withdrawn lame, unfortunately, for Tom Halbron after feeling a slight issue after the racing last Saturday. So Ginger's Prince, Oxford Pall Mall winner recently for Patrick Brown, so he's got Category 1 success behind him. Obviously a little bit further up in trip here at Monmouth Green, but was a good performer last week. Pepinillo did well for Richie Taberner. I believe it was the 2nd place finish in his heat. I mean, this one looks quite wide open, to be honest. Quite hard to predict as to who may get through. Armoured 80, of course, for Wallace Born Racer, and Crossfield Enzo as well for Richard Rees. Looks kind of a wide open heat, and of course 2 spots in next week. Final available. So we're looking forward to a good night of racing, hopefully on Saturday. Ladbrokes Gold Cup, Ladbrokes Summer Stayers Classic. Hopefully have a good crowd. Restaurants pretty much sold out. We've still got availability in our party pack area. If you want to come, general admission on the night, it's just £7. And hopefully we'll see you here for a fantastic night's racing here at Monmouth Green.